Hello and welcome to the presentation. My name is Sandilya Krovvidi, and in this video I will be speaking about the Sailpoint and Service Now ticketing integration. As part of this, we will be speaking about an overview of ticketing systems in IT operations, value provided by the Sailpoint and Service Now ticketing integration, the various types of integration that are supported by the SailPoint ServiceNow integration module, and towards the end we will be speaking about a few best practices that have to be followed in the integration, and lastly a small use case which is an extension to the current uses. Let us start with an understanding of how ticketing systems are used in IT operations and how SailPoint integration is going to bring value with the ticketing integration. IT operations is a pretty hectic task. It involves a lot of manpower, and enterprises usually suffer with poor visibility in the state of their IT operations. Because of this, maximum enterprises use a ticketing system that helps them manage their IT operations with ease. ServiceNow is one amongst the global leaders in this field, and they have moved the complete solution to the cloud. ServiceNow has a widely adopted ITSM and ITOM solution within their cloud offering. Some of the aspects of ServiceNow which could be leveraged for the identity management include service-based approach in managing the digital identities in the IT infrastructure, integrating the initial procurement management systems. It is always possible that we sometimes have restricted access to a few parts of the IT infrastructure. This can be because they are legacy systems which do not support efficient communication, or even because of the IT policy of the organization. Automated provisioning by SailPoint does not come handy in such cases. Most of the enterprises have well-defined procedures at ServiceNow level or IT operations level to handle these tasks manually. While SailPoint can't automate the provisioning in this case, it can raise relevant tickets or request for specific services that could help in the provisioning. This adds a lot of value as it streamlines the entire provisioning into a well-established IT processor. Now let's go ahead and try to understand the SailPoint and the ServiceNow integration. Firstly, we will be speaking about the modifications that are to be done or performed on the ServiceNow end. As part of this, the first thing that we need to understand is that there are two types of integration that are supported by SailPoint. The first and pretty simple type is an IT integration based on the incidents or change requests. The second and a bit more flexible type of integration is an integration based on the service catalog or the catalog items. An incident here, as we understand, is an unexpected problem that is occurring in the IT infrastructure that would need some kind of service to be performed in order to be rectified. A change request is a standardized, pre-approved and planned request at infrastructural level in the IT environment. The procedure that needs to be followed for the Sailpoint integration based on the incident or change requests is almost the same, while it is quite different for the service catalog based integration. Service catalog based integration is a shopping cart type of approach where catalog items represent the application requests. Let's move forward and try to understand the various things to be done at the ServiceNow side regarding this integration. For this integration, the first thing that we need to do is to deploy a ServiceNow application. The ServiceNow application that has to be deployed is Sailpoint Service Now Integration module. This application on the ServiceNow side creates the basic framework that is required for this integration. Just like the WAR files in J2EE application model, we have files called update sets in ServiceNow. Update sets represent portable and easily deployable applications in the form of XML files. The update sets that have to be deployed for the incident or change request based integration and service catalog based integration differ quite a little. For incident or change based integration, we have to deploy and commit a single update set called Identity IQ ServiceNow Service Integration Module for Incident and Change.xml. Similarly, for the service catalog based integration, we need to deploy two update sets. They are Identity IQ ServiceNow Service Integration Module.xml and Sailpoint Service Request Generator.xml. These files could be customized by the customer to suit their requirements and are to be provided to the ServiceNow teams well in advance to ensure a smoother integration. We might also want to communicate to the ServiceNow teams that there will be a few ServiceNow tables on top of which CRUD operations are performed with the help of web services. These web services affect a few tables like SC underscore request, SC underscore request item, incident table, and service request change request table. This concludes the major deployments that are related to the ServiceNow. Next, let's move on to the creation of the service account that is required for the Sailpoint integration. The service account must be having a specific role in order to perform the required web service requests. For service catalog based integration, the role is x underscore sapo underscore iaq underscore sim.admin, and for the incident or change based integration, the role required is x underscore sap underscore sim.admin. It has to be noted that These roles lead to several other roles of ServiceNow which help in accessing basic web services exposed by ServiceNow instances. That concludes the basic integrations that are required at the ServiceNow end. Service catalog based approach provides a greater flexibility by allowing us to customize the catalog items that will be used by the Sailpoint's Identity IQ. We can define our own catalog items that are going to represent various applications that we need. Also, we can add our own custom variables to the catalog items that are defined by us that could logically represent the applications or various related attributes. The web service request is submitted by IAQ is flexibly passed by the SC request generator, which is part of the second update set that we have used for the service catalog based integration. Now that various catalog items are defined and could be requested by Identity IQ, we can also attach our own custom workflows to handle these catalog items. These provide us a great flexibility in defining how various requests have to be handled. All we need to do is attaching the created and published workflow to the catalog item that we intend to. Next, let's start with an understanding on how to configure SailPoint's Identity IQ for this integration. All the integrations in IAQ will be handled by SailPoint objects called integration configs. When a provisioning has to be happened, the first thing the IAQ does is to understand if there is an integration config that is configured for the target application. In case it is defined, an integration based approach is opted rather than trying for direct provisioning or create a manual work item. The first thing on the SailPoint end that has to be performed for configuring the IAQ is importing the relevant integration config, and also all the relevant parameters related to the integration config have to be configured. The integration config for instant or change based approach and the service catalog based approach differ a little. For the instant or change request based integration, the integration config is ServiceNow simfer instant or change.xml, and for the service request based integration, the integration config is ServiceNow service integration module.xml. The primary things that are to be configured in any kind of integration config is how we connect to the target system. In this case, various WSDL endpoints that are used to communicate with the ServiceNow have to be configured at various operations. The operations will be discussed shortly. Apart from this, the credentials of the service account that is used for the ServiceNow integration have to be configured at the parameters username and password. It is also to be noted that Web Service Security Protocol and SSH is also supported by this integration. The next part of the configuration would be configuring the applications for which the integration has to happen. The various applications for which the integration has to be used could be configured by using the managed resources. Managed resources tag could be used for configuring this required applications to be integrated. The initial or the default integration config that is supplied by the Sailpoint includes two sample applications which have to be removed or renamed to suit our requirements. In case they are not removed, dummy applications are created in your Sailpoint system which are representing this sample applications. The next part of this integration config is going to speak about various operations for which the provisioning has to be considered for the integration based approach. This could be configured using a comma separated list of values in the operations argument of the integration config. There are many operations related to the provisioning over here. They are create, modify, delete, enable, set password, and lock. Sailpoint uses three kinds of operations to communicate with the service now. A provisioning operation, a get request status operation, provisioning retrieval operation. In the case of provisioning operation, we are trying to create the relevant tickets on the target application, which is ServiceNow. Get request status operation is used to retrieve the status of the ticket that was raised during the provision operation using the ticket ID that was retrieved during the provision operation. Retrieval operation is a mechanism which is used as a failsafe. In this case, we specify a few strings in a list, and if the error because of which the provision operation has failed matches with any of the strings, the provision operation will be reattempted. Based on each of these operations, various web service request templates are also to be configured for each and every operation. These web service request templates are passed to the velocity engine in order that they are filled with the actual details of the request. Plan and config objects are passed to the velocity engine along with this web service request template so that the relevant details are filled. For the flexibility to modify the plan or the integration config while creating the request, we have a ServiceNow integration rule. Plan and integration config are inputs to the rule. Any modification to the plan or integration config could be made or here. Web service request template used for the various operations will be passed through velocity engine so that we have all the required details. Plan and config are the variables passed to the velocity engine along with web service request. Relevant details are to be found from these variables and final web service request shall be formed. This completes all the configuration on the Sailpoint end. Let's try to understand a few best practices while we perform the ServiceNow integration. The first of such is that it is recommended that we have a ServiceNow application configured and all the application accounts and entitlements such as groups are aggregated. By doing this, we are ensuring that we do not pass any irrelevant references to the actual ServiceNow accounts. In case we pass wrong details or inconsistent details for the fields like opened by, assigned by, or assigning group at the ServiceNow end, a new group or user shall be created in that particular aspect, which is a clear violation of identity management. So it's a best practice to configure the application and retrieve the link related information from the ServiceNow links of the identities. Yet another best practice is tokenizing the environment specific variables so that the deployment is accelerated across various environments like dev, prod, UAT, and testing. That completes the best practices that are to be followed during the ServiceNow integration. Service catalog based integration could also be used to raise assets related tickets for the assets like laptops, RFIDs, and other things during the birthright processing. This could be performed by configuring a dummy application in the Sailpoint, which could help you raise these tickets. Custom workflows could be used to redirect these tickets to actual catalog items. Thank you very much for watching this video.